It's now time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC, one of America's 25 most influential Black women in America. How you doing, Vicki Brackens?
George Kilpatrick, every week you make me feel special the way you do that. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and I think I'm probably like many people around the world right now with everything that's going on. Anytime we get that little special extra sauce on whatever we're doing, it makes us feel great. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, well, I think we're going to sort of kick up a notch, a theme that we've been talking about before. That we started actually discussing back in this late summer as we were headed into fall. And I continually said these words, winter is coming.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Well, most people thought I was actually talking about a season as far as the snow that we have experienced this week.
Right.
That's not what I'm talking about. I was really saying winter is coming in relation to the need for preparedness and the things that we needed to do to be prepared, particularly if, unfortunately, the predictions around the coronavirus uptick took place. Because we got a reprieve. We came into spring and we looked in spring and it was horrible. I mean, we lost family members. Again, my condolences to you. We had disruptions throughout the economy, but we sort of worked through that process and came into the summer with at least, if not a clear outlook, but a clearer outlook. We had an opportunity during the summer to prepare for what was being predicted as the second wave.
Yeah.
Because if you look throughout history, through pandemics, particularly through the Spanish flu, which was so devastating for us 100 years ago, this type of biological activity never comes just once. There are 2 phases, possibly 3, that we have to contend with. So we're in phase 2. And unfortunately, because we are not only in phase 2, but some of the actions that did or did not happen during the summer, phase 2 is coming back like a lion. It is not coming back like a lamb. So what I was hoping through our conversations of saying winter is coming is that everyone took some time to prepare financially for what may be, and now is turning out to be, a very challenging financial period for us over the next, and I'm not a prognosticator, nobody called me and told me exactly the time, but it looks like possibly anywhere from the next 3 to 4 months. So here's the things that you should check off right now.
Let's go.
First of all, have you updated your emergency medical plan? Right? Here's what I mean by updated. Does everyone in your inner circle, plus any type of medical professional that may need to help you, have you set up the system so that your medical and emergency contact information is easily accessible?
That people know what to do, know who to call, know where your medications are, know what your healthcare protocols are,
everything,
proxies, all of those things.
All of those things. Now, you have an iPhone, right, George?
I do.
Did you know that there's a system within your iPhone to carry that information and make it available to emergency contacts immediately?
No.
All right, if you go to your lock screen.
Yes.
At the bottom of your lock screen, you should see the word emergency.
Right.
Have you filled out the emergency sections?
I have. Like, there are people who I've designated as emergency contacts, but I don't know if I filled out the emergency section because, like, in my iPhone, like, there's asterisks, red asterisks for all of the people who should be called in an emergency.
Okay, so we're going to give you 2 stars, but I want to get you to 5 stars. And the 5 stars would be go back to that section, complete the emergency section, because EMTs. And if you had to go into the emergency room, because these days you cannot take family into the emergency room.
You really, no, right.
So, and by the way, shout out to everyone there at Upstate Medical Hospital. Shout out to my mother, who's also there right now. Okay.
Well, let's
and
give her
all
a
the
name.
healthcare workers.
Let's
Ellen Brackens.
Yes, shout out to Ellen Brackens, a great fan of the show. We love you, and we really thank you for all of your support.
All right. So when you go to the emergency room, family can't go with you anymore. So if you can't speak for yourself and you happen to be going into a medical system, a medical provider area where you don't have your permanent records, that information that you carry in your emergency section of your phone, because most of us have our phones on us.
Most of us, yes.
Okay, will be possibly a lifesaver. If nothing else, will save time for medical providers if that section is filled out. So go to your lock screen. I'm speaking on an iPhone because I own an iPhone, but I understand that that system is available on most smartphones. Find it. You can go into whatever is Siri or Google or whatever and find out how to complete the emergency sections on your phone. Secondly, we've talked about this several times, but this is a great time for us to tune up our paperwork.
Yeah, so important.
Okay. Your beneficiary clauses and your emergency contact information, have you reviewed them this year? If you haven't, stop right now, review that information, make sure that your beneficiaries are up to date, make sure that your family or whoever you've designated as far as being your emergency administrator, the person who would be in charge, that they know where everything is and that they understand exactly, have a conversation, what needs to be done. If you have a financial planner or a financial advisor that you work with and you have set up an aggregation system, set up a vaulting system, set up a way for your organization or organizing your documents, go through what you've placed into your private document areas with your financial planning team to be sure that your life insurance information is up to date, that your medical insurance information is up to date, that your emergency contacts on a professional basis, meaning your attorney, your accountant, those people who would need to be involved in helping you and your family make financial decisions if you could not speak for yourself or needed assistance, is up to date and ready to go. All right. So when I said winter is coming, winter is here. We're going to change the
winter is here.
Winter is here, and we now need to function in this time of winter. Finally, your cash reserve. We hoped all spring and all summer that we would get some type of additional economic relief from Congress. We did not. And if it actually happens, there will still be a lag time.
Yeah.
There will be an absolute lag time before we can receive those funds in your check, because it's like momentum. When a ship is moving in one direction, to turn it, especially a ship as big as the US economy and the numbers of people involved, it will take time for that to filter into your hands. So stop and evaluate critically where you are in your cash flow. Make the changes necessary to stretch, just in case there are some additional layoffs that take place in the next 60 to 90 days. Those layoffs may or may not be permanent, but there may be a lot of furloughing taking place in order for businesses to stretch their cash flow to survive, possibly reductions in hours, possibly laying off a certain portion of the workforce, but prepare as if you are going to be laid off for a period of time so that you are not in a position of running out before spring comes. That's my final thing. Spring will come. Our job right now is to survive the winter.
Yeah.
Survive the winter. Okay?
And spring, just like winter has been a metaphor, spring is a metaphor as well, because it may not arrive, it will arrive by the calendar on March 21st, but
correct.
Technically, in terms of our economy, it may be much later than that. I was just reading about cities like Atlantic City, New York City that are heavily dependent on tourism from the entertainment, hospitality, and those kinds of industries. You know, Broadway announced last summer that they're not even considering starting back up until June of 2021. Spring, right?
Spring,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Okay, right,
So,
spring.
so in Atlantic City, you know, I was just there recently, and you know, they're not even at they're what, at 25% capacity or something like that. So
Right.
yeah, this is a you I think that mindset that you just suggested is critical. Act as if you may be furloughed and make the necessary financial adjustments.
Exactly. So I'm suggesting things like this. I am not saying do not celebrate the holidays. Celebrate the holidays differently.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your budget, trim it back by 50% of whatever you typically would do.
Mm-hmm.
Bank the other 50% so that we can stretch. Families will understand. We can have celebrations around Christmas and Hanukkah, and as far as the major spends that we have, we can wait till July or August. It's about the family celebration of the love that we have and the celebration versus necessarily right now the money that we spend. We must stretch. Think about things as related to any types of vacations or major purchases. Now, there may be major purchases that are absolutely necessary. The refrigerator goes, you got to get a refrigerator.
Right.
Okay. But if you were thinking, I want a new car because I'm just tired of this one, this may not be the time unless it's a tremendous, and I mean tremendous, tremendous, tremendous deal. But think about the things that are necessary for stretching. So George, before I go, the last thing I want to say is this. Spring is coming, but there's always a winter thaw. Here's the winter thaw that I want to give as a gift to everyone. We have made an absolute decision, and I love my partners here at the Central New York Jazz and Arts Foundation, Larry Luttinger and his team. We are going to have the 14th annual Black History Month Jazz Cabaret on February 28th. It will be staged differently, but we need a winter thaw, and we have gone 13 years in a row. We decided that we would not break on the 14th year. So look for an announcement relative to that, but put it on your calendar right now, February 28th. February 28th, we will have the Jazz Festival, and it's going to be a very privately staged and choreographed event for the Jazz Foundation guest and Brackens Financial Solutions Network as your primary sponsor, that you are going to not forget, because it's going to be something very special. At this point in time, I'll say if you have questions, feel free to reach out to us at area code 315-930-4499 or at info@Brackens, BRACKENS, FSN.com. And for now, George, I'll say our plate is full.
All right. Thank you very much, Vicki. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC.